Hi, I'm Hook and welcome to Story Art. Please come and listen to my story. Thank you and enjoy.
The trail looked like it was leading into the woods. As he walked, he started to recall back when the town of Highjar was more lively. He remembers the streets would be flowing with people from all over Starfire Woods. He became friends with the blacksmith. He looked for small jobs around town and helped the blacksmith with his orders in his spare time by organizing more in the shop. He started to move on to the path leading down to the coast. He saw many bodies lying down on the ground. He stepped over each one as quickly as possible, never disturbing them. He hoped that many of the townsfolk were safe, but so far many have fallen. Von came to an opening in the bushes and saw the open water ahead. He finally reached the coastline. He could see the people were still there defending themselves with whatever they could find. By sure luck, they managed to smash the devils' heads in with bricks or even their bare hands. These devils looked different from each other. One had horns and short stubby legs, and another had grooves on its skin with thick hide on its legs. Is everyone okay? Said Goods the blacksmith. Yes, said some, and others said nothing. Now they had to figure what to do for the wounded. They began expecting each other, making sure check their back and legs for cuts. After a long inspection of everybody, they all decided that everyone was strong enough to carry on and treat the other wounded. Von left the town folk to head back home to get his mind ready to travel down the mountain. I didn't think this would happen. Before I was ready, he thought to himself as he walked the path back. As Von looked toward the town, he saw a figure in the sky flying toward him. Young warrior, the Lagenier said as he flew down in a white mist. Judah, Von yelled back as he witnessed in amazement at how his friend shape-shifted into a tall man figure with a long trench coat. His face was round with short hair, and his clothes were all black and loose-fitting. You can't do this alone, Judah explained. Von nodded his head, and he knew it was time to make the travel north of the road of Highjar. A cold wind blew over them as they made their way out of town, and then a light voice on the wind spoke to them and said, "You must travel to the 3 caves, one in east, west, and south, to open the stone door on the north side of the mountain." So the 2 warriors looked at each other, then agreed to rest up to find a guide to lead them. Judah knew that he could ask the high spirits for a guide. His standing with the high spirits was exceptional, so if anyone was able to get them to the cave safely, it was Judah's spiritual guide. By the time they made it back the farm, the sun was setting and they were tired from the long walk. So they rested that night until the next day. Rising early, Von started breakfast. Several minutes later, Judah rose from his bed and he could smell the home cooking. In fact, Hito has never had cooked food. He excitedly thought to himself of how easy it was to be this way, never having to hunt, and the seasonings that humans have are amazing. He jumped out of bed, stretching his long body till he was loose. He walked out of his room to the dining room and sat at the round table. Von made him a plate of food and placed it down in front of him. "I hope you like it," he said as he poured him a mug of warm milk. Judah wasted no time gobbling down his eggs with worm-toasted bread and said, "This is best food I have ever had. It's not like raw meat, it's more pleasant to the tongue with lots of taste." "I'm glad you like it," said Von as he walked past the wooden counter in the kitchen. Then went to the living room and sat down. When he sat down on the soft cushion, he realized his living room was small but cozy. But no matter how he felt, he knew he had to figure out his mission and started contemplating how to go about his travels to the Eastern Cave. "There's not much to go on," he spoke across the room. "Don't worry, a guide is all we need." Judah finished his last bite of eggs with toast and then ran over to where Von was sitting, then said, "I know you are worried, but I have a way to get us a guide." Judah sat down and put his hands together. Then after a few moments the light surrounded him then faded almost instantly.
To be continued. Thank you for listening.